Well, Faye, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. Thank you for
Nina.
being on our panel. Thank you for coming to NJRESN. This is your first time at our event, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
What has that been like for you?
Listen, this is a lot, overwhelming. I'm really impressed with the group of women and men that you have here, the diversity of people and the connection everyone's making. It's really impressive what you guys have done here.
Yeah. Have you ever been to other networking events? Is there something in particular that stands out? When it's your first time, I'm always curious to hear people's initial impressions.
Right. It's a warmer environment. I find it very comfortable, even not being in this realm of realtors, that's not really my background as a profession. And everyone is so hospitable. Everyone is talking to each other. They're all connecting. Everyone's changing.
Yeah.
So in a little bit about, architecture, construction, you don't really see that. I belong to other networking groups, and it's more you gotta hustle, and I don't see it here. I see everyone very comfortable and connecting and talking.
Right.
So it's really nice to see.
That's awesome. Well, tell us a little bit for those of anyone at home that didn't get a chance to really hear your story from the panel. Can you give us a synopsis of just you, your background, your experience, and your story, really?
Okay. I'm actually a graduate with a bachelor's degree in architecture. So I started my career in Manhattan working for an architectural firm. And after a couple years being in the city, we moved back to New Jersey to start a family. My background, I'm Greek, so like the Greek movie, my parents wanted us to come back home. So they lured us to open a restaurant. My husband was not Greek. He worked at Pfizer as an attorney and said, let's try this out. And I did not want to do that at all.
Right.
So I ended up going into opening a restaurant. And during that time that we had it, we made some great decisions. We were able to hold the business in our name and the liquor license that caused us to have profitability into that, and able to run successfully the business, and I'm able to sell it and rent it out to other people. So during that time, a couple years later, I lost my husband, and the good thing, because we were so successful with the restaurant, thank you, in the restaurant, I had paid off my house. So I right away went into mom mode and started purchasing commercial buildings and residential homes to leave a legacy for my children. I was able to take construction loans, and back then, 12 years ago, it was much easier than today. So I started with my first commercial property. I looked into make sure that 50% of the property was rentable, already had tenants in it, so my numbers looked good. And after one, then another one. And then looked into residential houses, small houses, and started creating a portfolio. So I was lured down, but my passion was always architecture. So eventually, when things started getting stable, I went back to architecture, but this time worked for a design-build firm that's in Long Beach Island. So I started designing, building, and learning the ins and outs of construction more in depth from a builder side, right? So I started working on the island, doing secondary homes. These are beach houses, and started investing in some of them. Started being an investor also, and not just building them. So it wasn't up to 2 years ago. I started my own design firm. So now we design. I finished over 50 houses in the last 2 years.
Wow.
Secondary homes, beach houses in the Jersey Shore area. So
wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of work, but I do enjoy it. Yeah, definitely.
I've always wanted to get into interior design, so I have, that's very exciting. What do you, from the investor world and wearing that hat, what has getting into real estate investing done for you? And I asked someone this earlier as well, because us all being moms and having kids, and we understand that that is our biggest whys. Those are our biggest priorities. I know it is for me, and I know that it's one thing to want to succeed, but it's like so much more. Like that word doesn't, I don't know how to explain it because it's so much more than that, right? It's about the life that I want to build for myself and
Legacy.
my kids and
Right.
the legacy
Right.
and just like, and enjoy it also at the same time, and not have to worry about how like our maybe like for me personally how my parents grew up, because I'm an immigrant. We came here, I was young, and we lived paycheck to paycheck, and that is not fun. Yeah. And when you have kids, your perspective changes, or like tragedies happen in your life and things take priority, and you realize how valuable and how valuable your life is, how little time you have, how you never know when something's going to happen, and what is going to happen to your kids or your family if there is a tragedy, right? And so taking all of that into consideration, how has you deciding, even though it was maybe scary at the time or you maybe didn't have all the answers, deciding I'm going to do everything I can one by one to get into real estate investing to where you are now, and what that has done for you and your family?
So I think we almost have the same background, giving from an immigrant family. We work really hard. I mean,
Yes.
the end, work is fearless, and that also gives
You're almost unfazed by it.
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
That's how I feel.
60,
Yeah.
70 hours, what is
Like,
that,
whatever, yeah.
So it's being fearless, taking those chances, and
Yeah.
knowing that I'm just going to work hard at it to achieve it. And I'm just going to keep doing it. It's something, I'm not going to lie to you, the older we get, the more fear we have. I mean, I check more now the numbers, and things are not easy as it was 10 years ago.
But you've seen more circumstances
Correct.
also. Like
Correct.
you're kind of just more
Aware.
You've been more exposed.
Exactly. When COVID hit, people not paying the rents, rental properties, chasing people, not being able to get them out. It becomes more fear, like, wait a minute, I'm losing money here. Like, I got to dump this or I got to buy this. So you're gambling, and you just got to be aware of your numbers, and you have to take that chance. You can't have fear. So I'm always learning. I'm not a person that gives up. And at the bottom of the line, I love what I'm doing, and I'm willing to take that chance. And I always make sure I have cushion. I'm not giving it all 100%. So you always have to have a backbone to cover you if something does happen. So that's very important.
I love that. What advice do you have for those that didn't get a chance to come out here, and before you leave us for tonight, what advice would you give to someone who wants to get into real estate investing? They don't know where to start, and just kind of some advice from your perspective.
Well, first, as you guys are doing here, network is key. Like, I hustle when I first started opening my company, bringing awareness to builders, because now I was trying to get more work, right? So realtor brokers, I would go to their offices, drop off pamphlets. I was persistent. You need to surround yourself with people that you can grow, you can learn, and be persistent of what you're doing. And one key advice is educate yourself. Educate gives you power. Knowledge gives you power. So when you're talking to someone, they're going to want to know numbers. They were going to know location. They're going to want to know, how can I make profit on this? I deal with specs all the time. What value am I giving coming into a spec house for a builder for him to resell it? How much profit he's going to make off of me? So I have to sell him my value and what profitability. So information, knowing what you're presenting is very important, and networking is very important in this industry these days. Who you know, as you know,
Yeah.
is who's going to open doors
Yeah.
for you, so it's very important.
Your network determines your
Yeah.
net worth, and who you work with matters. It all kind of works
Right.
together at
Absolutely.
the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
And knowledge truly is the best thing that you can possibly invest in, because
Absolutely.
that is something that no one can ever take away from you. And when you walk into that room, maybe you might not know everything, but you're confident in the stuff that you do know.
Absolutely.
And that gives you an ability to open the door and start conversations with people that you look up to. And they're going to admire that, because they're going to look at you and they're going to say, how do you know that, right? Yeah, you might not know everything, but the fact that you even know a portion of something and you're asking these, or even if you don't know, but you're showing up in that room, the fact that you showed up and you're willing to ask questions and say, well, what about this and what about that, and can you tell me about this? Like, people love to share their successes, so go ask questions.
Absolutely.
And listen.
You gain respect just being in that environment and with that person. Yeah.
Yes.
You gain the respect. Absolutely.
Yes,
I agree.
exactly.
So
thank you so much, Faye.
Yes,
thank you for coming on.
I've loved this. This is very, very interesting, and I've been very enjoyed myself here. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.